I know we discussed this right at the beginning, but I just want to drive the point home. What is the difference between the DOM and JavaScript? At the crux, the DOM looks at our document object within our hierarchical structure. That's what the DOM is. And you could just leave it there, but let me just dive into this in a little bit more detail. At the most basic level, we know that every website consists of an HTML document. And this document gets represented in a model. And we just so happen to call that model the DOM, the document object model. And this model allows JavaScript and other programming languages for that matter to access elements of the website as objects. And of course, we don't stop there, do we? We always manipulate it. When a user clicks a button, we want to change colors, we want to create pop-ups. There's a whole lot we do, and we do that by accessing and manipulating the DOM. And to re-emphasize, the DOM is not a programming language. But without it, as we said previously, the JavaScript language, and for that matter other languages, wouldn't have any model or notion of a web page. So it becomes easier to understand now that the DOM and JavaScript are completely different entities. The page content is stored in the DOM, and JavaScript is just one of different languages that is given access to all of this content. And as a side note, the DOM was designed to be independent of any programming language. However, we mostly use JavaScript to access the DOM to manipulate the HTML. But you can also use Python to organize an XML file. What am I talking about when I start mentioning Python and XML? Well, don't panic. XML just stands for Extensible Markup Language. That's it, and it's a common data structure that just allows us to store, structure, and transfer data between different systems. And when we use the DOM with XML, DOM just structures that content as a tree of branches, as nodes, where each node in the tree is an object. Don't worry if you don't understand, we're going to get into more detail in this course, although we're not going to concentrate on XML. I think by far the more important application of the DOM is learning how to use it with HTML. But just in case you're wondering, we could use Python to work with the DOM. For example, let me put this bit of code on the screen for you. This is Python. And the first line of that code, the import xml.dom.minidom as m, well, that's a minimal implementation of the DOM interface for Python. As you can see, it has to be imported from the DOM module, which provides all the functions we need to get methods like getElementsByName, for example. We then use the parse method, and that connects the XML parser with the DOM builder, and it returns a document object representing the content of the entire document. Okay, let's get rid of that. I just wanted to give you a quick example as to what I'm even talking about, because a lot of people just mention things like this, but then they skip over it. So if you're just a bit curious, at least now you understand the DOM is not just used with JavaScript. But I still want us to talk about the DOM. I want us to be very, very comfortable with what the DOM actually is. See you now.